Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really beautiful story about finding your place in the world. And it all starts with, believe it or not, a simple hole in the ground and one single life-changing promise. So picture this. A farmer is digging in the dirt, and he speaks these words to the empty hole he's creating. He's instilling this incredible sense of destiny into his creation before it's even, well, a thing. This wasn't just about moving earth. This was the very beginning of a purpose.
And just like that, with this huge promise hanging in the air, the little pond comes to life. You know, its first days weren't quiet or lonely at all. They were just an explosion of pure joy, of connection, and of discovery.
I mean, just imagine this scene for a second. You've got ducks using the pond like a personal water skiing ramp, their little feet just tickling the surface. A nervous baby calf finds some cool relief in its shallows. You've even got this tiny kitten with a surprisingly scratchy tongue dipping in for a drink. The pond, right from day one, was the heart of the whole farm.
So, as that first absolutely perfect day comes to an end, the pond is just drifting off to sleep, surrounded by all its new friends. And the farmer's words are echoing inside it, not like a question, but as a total certainty. It felt loved, it felt important, and it was so sure of its grand destiny.
But you know how it is, right? That feeling of absolute certainty? Well, it can be pretty fragile. As the seasons started to turn, a new kind of feeling began to trickle into the pond's world. A feeling that started to cast a shadow over its sunny little life. And the thing that starts this change? Well, it arrived on the wings of his friends, the migrating geese. Now, the pond loved it when they used him as a resting spot. But when they came back every spring, they didn't just bring themselves. They brought stories. Stories of a massive world way beyond the farm fence. And look, these weren't just little campfire stories. We're talking epic tales. The pond heard about lakes so huge you couldn't even see the other side, and oceans so vast that ships bigger than the entire barn could sail for months and never, ever see land. And you can see what's happening here, right? A huge internal conflict starts brewing. All of a sudden, its own world, which used to be this whole universe of joy, it just felt small. Familiar started to feel boring and still felt completely insignificant compared to all the adventures of those vast, unknowable oceans. And this is a turning point. For the very first time, the pond feels something new towards the farmer who made him. Resentment. A really sharp, bitter resentment. He wasn't grateful anymore. He felt trapped. He felt like he was missing out on the real greatness he was promised. Now, this feeling of resentment, it doesn't just go away. Oh no, it starts to fester. It created this kind of spiritual drought inside the pond, draining away its happiness and its whole sense of purpose, right as a real crisis was about to hit the farm. And then, what do you know? A real drought hits the farm. I mean, the timing is just brutal. The farmer has to turn to the pond for help, pumping its water to save the thirsty crops. A year ago, this would have made the pond feel so proud. But now, with his head full of comparisons, he just feels used. He feels smaller and less important with every single drop that's taken. You see how his whole viewpoint has just flipped on its head? It's no longer about his vital role in saving the farm. Nope. Instead, he sees his contribution as a loss, and he thinks the farmer's act of survival is just a selfish plan to drain away his potential. So late one night, when he's feeling absolutely at his lowest point, just totally empty and defeated, the pond finally speaks his despair out loud, thinking no one can possibly hear him. But he was wrong. A very, very wise listener was watching from way up high. I mean, this is rock bottom for our little pond. It's a complete rejection of that promise he held so dear. The dream of greatness has just curdled into the miserable reality of being just a little pond on a stupid farm. But then, a voice cuts through the silence. It's the moon. And the moon doesn't just say, there. Nope. It asks this really profound question. A question designed to make the pond look inward and rethink everything, right from the very beginning. This is where things really start to shift. The moon begins to gently reshape the pond's entire understanding of the word greatness. It wasn't about being the biggest or the mightiest. It was about something else, something completely different. So the moon just lays it all out. All those things the pond saw as weaknesses, turns out they were actually his greatest strengths. The oceans he was so jealous of, their salt would kill these crops. Those big lakes, way too choppy to offer a perfect peaceful reflection. But the little pond, he was just right, perfectly designed for his purpose. And then comes the mic drop moment, the real heart of it all. The pond's highest purpose wasn't just about watering plants or animals. It was about giving his creator a place of peace and rest. His stillness, his size, his location, all of it was designed for this one specific, incredibly powerful purpose. Okay, so with this brand new way of looking at things, the pond's whole world just clicks back into place. And this leads us to the final, really powerful lesson of the story. And the feeling that bubbles up inside, it isn't just that happy, bouncy joy from the first day. It's something much, much deeper. It's that quiet, steady feeling of satisfaction, of being exactly what you were meant to be, right where you were meant to be.
It all finally made sense. He wasn't a failed ocean. He wasn't a wannabe lake. He was a perfect pond. Every single thing about him, his size, his shape, his stillness, it was all perfectly calibrated to fulfill his unique and really important destiny.
And that's really the core of it, isn't it? That jealousy, that envy, is just gone. The pond could now be genuinely happy for the greatness of others because he was finally, truly secure in his own. He learned that real contentment doesn't come from changing who you are, but from deeply understanding and embracing it. So, this little story leaves us with a pretty big question to noodle on. What if all this relentless searching for some other, bigger, better destiny is actually causing us to miss the profound importance of the one we're already living?